So it's Red Stripe Football Mondays, and it's the first ever fixture at Drax Hall in St. Anne on Red Stripe Football Mondays. 27 degrees Celsius at the moment. The chances of rain not that strong at the moment, although we are under some pretty cloudy skies here in Drax Hall. We're on Jamaica's north coast for this fixture. As we said, historic. Mount Pleasant making their first entry this season in the top flight. They were only founded in 2016, less than 3 years in existence, and already qualifying for the top flight. They're two-time champions of the parish here of St. Anne. This is the parish that Bob Marley was born, and they're looking to be on song tonight.
Yeah, 9 miles. Founded 2016, Mount Pleasant Academy was, and as you said, Lance, two-time parish champions. The other team, Liston James, rather, we're looking at players. Look, a sturdy defender, Lance. No nonsense. I like his speed over ground, and the good defenders, Lance, they don't have to tackle because their anticipation gets them where the danger is and they snuff it out. Liston James has traits of that good archetypal defender, and they expect good things from him in this game.
Yeah, Liston James and their defense has been pretty solid. Just 7 goals they have let in so far this season. The best defensive team in the league, and James is one of the reasons why that's so. Devon Hodges.
Yeah, Devon Hodges is the ace marksman. Arguably, the best striker operating in the RSPL right now. Has been off rather to a hot start this season. Devon Hodges has shed some weight since the last time we saw him, Lance. Maybe about 8 pounds, 10 pounds thereabouts has gone from Devon Hodges' middle, and the fitter Devon Hodges is the even more potent he'll become, and crucially he'll be able to last the 90 minutes because his physical condition before now meant that he was often substituted in the 70th minute or thereabouts in the game as Mount Pleasant looked to close out the game or to chase the game depending on the circumstance.
That's right. 34 years old now. Let's hear from the coaches. Of course, Donovan Ducky is the man in charge of Mount Pleasant.
Donovan, Cavalier are a free-flowing team. They say they will relish these conditions. What plan do you have for them at Drax Hall tonight?
Well, what I can tell you is that this is our second meeting here, because in pre-season we had a cracker and we won that game in extra time. But what I can tell you tonight is that will count for very little, as we understand exactly what Cavalier project is about. They're a very exciting team when they come forward, very fast team in transition. We're also prepared for that in the first encounter at Stadium East. We definitely got a setback with a first half strike, but late in the game we came back to end that game 1-1. But tonight we understand what our project is about. In transition we're a very good side. We're improving here. It's our first Monday night game. We want to give the spectators a treat, but we know that it's going to be very difficult.
The Cavalier coach also says that, look, they've trained specifically to keep the ball away from you, because Rudolph Speed says the ball is a 12th man. If he keeps the ball, then he takes the man in the stands out of the game. Your response to that?
Well, what I can tell you is that Cavalier is a good possession team. We understand the characteristics of them. They like to play out of the back. Tonight we can allow them to play out of the back. We can also allow them not to play out of the back. Football is a game of different phases. We can control all aspects of the game. We can allow them some things. We can take away some things from them. But we know that they're a very dangerous side. The game is going to be played at a fast pace and a high level of competitiveness, and we're really prepared for that.
Very solid coach and strong defensively. Only 7 goals let in by Mount Pleasant so far this season. Cavalier, the travelling team here, they're in 8th at the moment. They were founded way back in 1962. Only 1 title they've won. They were winners back in 1981. Last season, in the regular season, they finished 6th in the table and made the playoffs, and are one of the most exciting teams in local football for sure.
Yeah, it's been a long time since they last won at Lance. I wasn't born yet when they were champions, Cavalier, under Leighton Duncan's leadership, but I've heard a lot about that team, and this vintage is looking to put the trophy back in one of these spiritual homes of Premier League football in Jamaica. This man is going to be important for them. Leonard Rankin, one of 2 central defensive midfielders deployed by the technical director Rudolph Speed this evening. Tall, elegant, strong in the tackle, not the quickest of players, but uses the ball efficiently and effectively. Doesn't pass the ball over long distances well, but he passes them over short distances very well, and he packs a punch in his right-footed shot. Leonard Rankin, a more orchestrator and conductor than bruising central defensive presence Leonard Rankin is.
Nicholas Hamilton, a very, very pacey player, George, and one of the players that the Cavalier team uses well when they're in transition.
Oh, lightning fast on the counter-attack, Nicholas Hamilton. A good dribbler as well. Has an eye for goal, Nicholas Hamilton. Perhaps doesn't score as many as his ability would require, but he is a key part of this Cavalier team, and he's a major reason why they are so dangerous on the counter-attack.
Yeah, that's for sure. One of the leading scorers at the moment. In fact, the leading scorer for Cavalier at the moment with 5 goals so far this season. The man in charge of Cavalier, Rudolph Speed.
Rudolph, you come into this game in reasonable form. Before we talk about tonight's game, though, how would you rate your team's work over the first round, the first 11 games of this competition?
Well, I think we underachieved, definitely. We end up with 16 points and 6th position. There was a lot of games we were not at our best. We're hoping to correct that in the second round.
You're at full strength. You have your young, your promising youngsters back from the under-20 setup. What do they bring back with them from national duties?
Oh, a lot of them is from this our team, so they bring back a lot of strength and young, potentially top players in Jamaica. So we expect to use them to our advantage tonight.
We were talking about the field off camera. It's a lovely ground. You feel as if your team was suited to the conditions here at Drax Hall?
Oh, these are the fields that we like to play, and I think tonight gonna be a very good game. This is like the field that we play our matches on. So we expect the ball to roll very nicely on this field and suits our game very well.
So Mount Pleasant, they're a known quantity. You know what they do. You've said in print interviews that they like to have the ball. What's your plan to counter Mount Pleasant's strength this evening?
Oh, definitely this week we also work on keeping the ball. So definitely it's going to be a contest to see who definitely can keep this ball for much longer time and make better uses of it. But as I've said before, it's a game of we have enormous potential, they have enormous experiences, so let's see what happens.
Usually away teams adopt a kind of cautious approach. Watching your team Cavalier away from home over time, Rudolph, we don't see any inclination to play for anything but a win. Are you promising to go on the front foot in this game against Mount Pleasant tonight?
Oh, definitely. We always play for a win. If you check the meaning of our name, the Cavalier, that's what it means. We're not afraid to express ourselves. We also believe that the spectators should be a beneficiary of the game also. When they leave here, they should feel pleased like they want to come to another Premier League game. So we're not going to come and our line of first resistance going to be in our half. No, not at all. We're going to be playing free-flowing football and make a better team win.
Finally, Rudolph, you said also in print that the 12th man is not the crowd in the stands, it's the ball. Explain that.
Yeah, I want you to remember that I coined that phrase. If I have the ball, I take away the crowd from them. The crowd will not be cheering for them if I have the ball, and that's going to be very important tonight.
One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing and tension. Red stripe, watch out. Man shall I better forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal winner run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now. Back down we run the marathon boy. The Red stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah yo. Nah man I don't a songsters boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy.
So in Drax Hall for this historic Red Stripe Premier League football fixture between Mount Pleasant, the home team, and Cavalier. We are just a few minutes away from kickoff. The teams are about to take the field, and a very, very important fixture here for these two teams. Looking for playoff spots. Daniel Parchment, the man with the ball and the whistle, standing behind him at the moment. Cavalier in white and Mount Pleasant in blue. These two teams met back on the 4th of November. It ended in a 1-1 draw. Kimar Bedford scored the equalizer for Mount Pleasant, but he starts on the bench tonight as we get ready for the big game of the round, match day 12 in the Red Stripe Premier League.
I think the Premier League gets serious from here, Lance, because look, not saying that teams took it easy in the first round, but you were allowed mistakes and allowed patches of bad form in the first round. From here on in, you have to put almost every foot right, even though there's a round, there's another round of matches to go after round 2, because if you don't set yourself up well heading into the 3rd and final round of preliminary matches, you're going to have an enormous task digging yourself out of a hole with so many teams of quality jostling for only 6 places and crucially to be clear of the relegation dogfight.
You can feel the intensity here at Drax Hall. Look at the home team, expectant, with the weight of the crowd expectations on their shoulders. The 34-year-old Devon Hodges, very, very experienced. He has had a couple of caps internationally for Jamaica, as you said, George, one of the most potent strikers in local football in the past decade, and he'll be looking for goals tonight.
I tell you what, on current form, if I was to pick one striker from the RSPL to play on my RSPL dream team, Devon Hodges gets that game any day. Fabian Reed coming back to himself, but on current form, yeah, Hodges is the man.
Yeah, almost ready for the national anthem. Mount Pleasant fourth in the table at the moment, and Cavalier in 8th position. There's Ladale Ritchie. He wears the captain's armband, a national player, very solid defensive player, plays holding midfield, plays central defense as well. Very valuable for the Mount Pleasant team. Now for the Jamaica national anthem coming up. Just after the stadium announcer makes the starting players' announcements.
Yeah, the only thing missing, we know that the Mount Pleasant chairman, Peter Gold, is a Chelsea fan. And when Chelsea play their home games at Stamford Bridgelands, there's a particular tune, The Liquidator. I'll tell you more.
George, the entire perimeter of this Draxhall field loaded with fans getting ready to witness history tonight. The first TV game at Draxhall in the Red Stripe Premier League. Cavalier in white, Mount Pleasant in blue, and the home fans will be willing their team on to get a result here.
The long-standing president of the St. Anne Football Association, the dreadlocked Danny Beckford, has for years been lobbying to get Draxhall developed. And then along came Mount Pleasant, out of the blue, literally. And they have cemented themselves as a force already in the RSPL. In this partway through their first season, they've brought the razzmatazz to Draxhall, they've brought the Lightslands, and they've brought Premier League football on a Monday night.
They certainly have the two captains meeting in the middle for the coin toss. Ladale Ritchie, big, strong central defender and holding midfielder for the Mount Pleasant team. The shorter Siobhan Messi Marsh, the Cavalier captain. Damian Parchment has the whistle. Nicholas Anderson and O.J. Duhaney as assistants. And Andre Farquharson, the fourth official.
Yeah, almost a little and large combination there. Ritchie looking like the cruiserweight boxer, and Siobhan Messi Marsh looking like a little heavier than bantamweight Lance. But will it prove to be so on the field of play? It will be a closer matchup than that, beyond the physical disparity between the two men.
Yeah, this is how the Mount Pleasant team lines up. Joseph Vargas, the Panamanian goalkeeper. Liston James, Ladale Ritchie, Ricardo Campbell, Cardell Benbow, Sule McCullough, Romario Campbell, third game of the season, former Waterhouse player. Kareem Manning, who played at Portmore and Harbourview before now. Kevon Isaacs, Ricardo Dennis and Devon Hodges.
Ultra attacking lineup this one is Vargas in goal, the player new to this level, but all of the other players are seasoned campaigners in the Red Stripe Premier League. Hodges at the spearhead of the attack. Ricardo Dennis will fly from the right flank. Benbow will roam from the left, and Romario Campbell will look to pull the strings and knit the attack together from his role. It's really a classic number 10 role, Romario Campbell, though he wears number 11 and is depicted on the graphic a little deeper than a number 10 would play.
Yeah, Ricardo Dennis and Romario Campbell, both just having their third games of the season, coming off injuries. Here's a Cavalier starting lineup. Mark Brown in goal, Jamoi Topey, national under-20 player, Kamoy Simpson, big sturdy defender, Kyle Ming, the 19-year-old, Purcell Rankin, Nelson, Nicholas Hamilton, 5 goals so far this season, Nelson, who's been getting goals as well, Siobhan Marsh, the captain, and Alex Marshall up top.
Yeah, Leonard Rankin and Nelson in the midfield are going to be crucial for Cavalier this evening. But it is the link-up among Chevron Marsh, Alex Marshall and Nicholas Hamilton. That trio for Cavalier, that's the key trio. When those three play well together, Cavalier usually win. They usually score plenty.
Yeah, so Mount Pleasant in the blue, Cavalier in the white, and here's the kickoff. Mount Pleasant with possession and pushing the ball around. Just making sure as many of their players get an early touch of the football. McCalla, right back. That's Ricardo Dennis. Played most of his football at Humberland. Marsh trying to win possession of the ball and does for Cavalier. Another factor we've got to consider in this game, George, the size of the field. Here is Mount Pleasant on the attack. Too much weight on the pass. This is the biggest field in local football. Very, very wide. And the players will have to contend with a lot of acres of room.
Oh yes, that's a crucial point. And the wingers on this on show for both teams are going to have a lot of space to work in. And so concentration and coordination between centre half and opposing fullback are going to be very important on the defensive end to shackle these wily wingers on show here tonight.
Yeah, the quality of the surface, quite good. One of the best in the island at the moment in Red Stripe Premier League football. Throw one by Cavalier deep inside their own half. There's Donovan Duki, who has used his trademark coaching style to have Mount Pleasant as the best defensive team in the league at the moment. 2 seasons ago, led a tremendous Waterhouse revival. Well, that's last season, in fact. The season before that, he was at Humberland and took them to the regular season title, conceding just 21 goals in 33 matches for the best defensive record in the league 2 seasons ago. Several of those Humberland players are now with him here at Mount Pleasant as well. Marsh under pressure, but does well. The Cavalier skipper sends Hamilton going down the left side. Hamilton's cross, just a little bit ahead there of Nelson. Cavalier using the width of the field. Wow, Hamilton had an opportunity to probably head at goal one time, but tried to control the ball instead. Does really well now, Hamilton. Oh, fires the ball across goal. And Benbow on the counter-attack for Mount Pleasant. Benbow tumbles over from the challenge from Simpson. No sympathy from referee Damien Parchment.
Yeah, I don't think that was a foul. Benbow beat one and then sought to cut in between two. And may have had his shin pad wrapped. See him looking, realize he's run into trouble, and that's not a foul.
No, it wasn't. Simpson got ball. Very solid central defender, Jamoi Simpson, the 26-year-old who was a huge part of the Cavalier success that took them to the playoffs last year, before they were eliminated by eventual champions Portmore.
We've seen already that defending on this pitch is going to be difficult, Lance, because it's not the usual constricted space where the defenders can pen the wingers in. They're going to have space to roam. Offside.
Yeah. Hodge just threading the pass through there to Ricardo Dennis. There's Dennis, the 21-year-old former Glenmuir star player. Very, very outstanding. There he is. Just offside. Standout for Humberland before his transfer here to Mount Pleasant. And even with this extremely wide field, Jamoi Simpson finds a way to keep the ball off the playing area. That's from Mario Campbell. Former Waterhouse player, also got a national call-up 5 years ago. Has struggled with fitness. Rudolph Speed, technical director for Cavalier. Has a lot of confidence in his young players. He has 2 18-year-olds on the park tonight. There's Mario Campbell for Mount Pleasant.
Must also tell the public that one of the top guns for Cavalier, Nicky Daly, is focusing on the Costa Cup final duties this Saturday. He's not in the roster. Neither is one of the best players in the Costa Cup last year, in schoolboy football last year, Lance. The man from Dintil, Kaim Paris.
Yeah. Off the roster totally, so he's not even on the bench tonight.
But the midfield battle, I'm keen to see this game develop a rhythm, to see who dictates from the midfield for which team. Campbell Romario, wearing number 11 for Mount Pleasant, is going to be the one wanting to set the tone. Let's see if he's successful against the Cavalier pair of Rankin and Nelson in the midfield.
Hodges puts some pressure there on Simpson, who is forced to knock the ball out for a throw. So we aren't the only one shooting this game, George. Kamar Manning with a throw for Mount Pleasant. They call him Keke. Former St. George's call it standout in Manning Cup football. And also played Premier League football for Portmore and Harbourview. Campbell fouled by Rankin. Free kick. High boot, says referee Parchment. Romario Campbell, a player of immense natural talent, but injuries and fitness issues
have retarded his progress. I'll finish the sentence for you because you're correct.
Yeah,
you are correct.
Real quality player. Free kick to Mount Pleasant. Mark Brand wants to ensure that his defensive unit works efficiently here. This is McCullough with a strike. It was Kevon Isaacs with a strike, straight into the wall.
Goal kick.
There's Manning. First season here in St. Anne.
You have some good athletes playing in the fullback positions for various teams in Jamaica lands, but there's not one with the complete package. You have good runners. You think of Thomas at Waterhouse, Manning here at Mount Pleasant, but sometimes the passing is off, the crossing especially.
Hamilton appears to be fouled. Parchment awards a free kick to Cavalier. And Rankin with it. Blue shirts for Mount Pleasant, trying to tighten up those holes. Very, very wide field here at Drax Hall. Rankin, a former national under-17 player, also played the Costa Cup football for St. Elizabeth Technical. Dennis puts the chase on with Purcell at left full back for Cavalier. Ensures that he doesn't get to the ball. Simpson.
Very good player, Purcell, but he'll be tested tonight.
Yeah, Purcell left back here for Cavalier. Played on the Jamaica College winning Manning Cup and Olivia Shield title winning team in 2015. Rankin. Purcell's pass to Rankin is accurate. Big pass upfield here to Hamilton. Player with a lot of pace. Searching there for Marsh, doesn't get to Marsh. Campbell, Manning. Mount Pleasant just passing their way out of trouble.
Yeah, passed that one into touch. Of the three fastest players on the field, Lance, two play for Cavalier, I'd say, Hamilton and Marsh. And then Benbow from Mount Pleasant would get into it, although Dennis is no slouch as we look at Dookie studying concentration in his face. The thing is this, I think of all the whippersnappers we have out there, Lance, Chevron Marsh is probably the fastest with the ball.
Yes, quite possibly so. Good dribbler, and his change of pace quite often pulls him away from opposing players. Speaking to Donovan Ducey before the start of the game, George, and he did suggest that the huge expanse of a field here is something that, even though it's their home ground, they haven't fully come to grips with yet. And I guess that is borne out too in the fact that they aren't that dominant at home so far this season. They've lost 2 of their 5 home games and have actually gathered more points on the road than they have at home. 11 points on the road, 9 points at home so far. So although this is their home patch and the crowd is very vociferous in support of them, physically they haven't really dominated here so far this season at home.
Excellent play by Rankin. Trapped Campbell for about 15 yards and then stole the ball from him.
Hamilton. First touch there. Ford just letting him down. Nicholas Nelson. Oh, here's Cavalier on the advance now. Dennis on the counter-attack for Mount Pleasant. Purcell does well to intercept. And again, Hamilton finds himself away down the left, but can't keep the ball in.
Again, he's the out ball. It's about the 4th time now that Cavalier are going to him from midfield, Nicholas Hamilton. That strategy seems clear. Just too much on Alex Marshall's pass just now.
Yeah. Tightly packed stance and expecting a good result for the home team tonight.
Yeah, with a scrappy start from the men in blue though, Lance.
Yeah.
Not looking so good going forward.
Benbow. Ming puts a lot of pressure on Benbow. Does well there, Ming. 18-year-old putting pressure on Benbow.
Yeah, the point you were making about the field, Lance, and Mount Pleasant's late adaptation, solid points.
Yeah. Cavalier on the counter. This is Marshall. Manning Cup MVP in 2015, Alex Marshall for St. George's College. Purcell, Rankin. Purcell still quite a young player. Only 21 years old. Benbow fouled by Ming, who is trying to keep a close touch here on the very skillful former Harrisburg City Islanders USL soccer star.
Excellent play by Benbow. Ming didn't really do much wrong, but Benbow just ran in front of him and just went down. Very clever. He bought a free kick.
Yeah, Ming questions the referee's call. So the white shirts of Cavalier back in numbers. They don't want to concede here. All 10 of their players in the 18-yard box defending. The header out by Marshall. Ritchie.
Lance, remember we were talking about the fear of the counter-attack? Mount Pleasant left 3 men back, despite them having the corner just now.
Ball taken on the chest, and then the effort from McCanna doesn't get the good shot off though.
Yeah, he rushed to that. The chest trap was good, but he couldn't wait for it to come down low enough. Hurried his effort, the swivel and the shot, and it went high. But I was telling you, yeah, Mount Pleasant left 3 men back, fearing Cavalier on the counter-attack.
It's one of the best parts of the Cavalier game, their transition game, because with the pace of Marsh and Hamilton
and yeah,
Alex Marshall as well, they can hurt you if they get their counter-attack game going and you don't have enough at the back to stop them. Wow, run with good quality. Mark Brand, the ball slips out of his hand there. Looked a bit clumsy on that play.
Yep. These fans in St. Anne have been long suffering. They've looked on enviously as everywhere else around the island had teams in the Premier League, especially Kingston, St. Andrew, Clarendon lands.
Yeah.
Never knew they'd see a team from these parts at the top flight and doing well.
Hamilton knocked off the ball by the strong McCalla. Benbow. Campbell. Benbow, who started on the left, now on the right. Good pass by Campbell. Strong defensive work, and Cavalier get the ball away. Hamilton has room on the left. Cutting inside. Marshall knocked over. Hamilton trying to set himself up for the shot. Whistle. Free kick. Marshall is fouled by Liston James, it seems.
That's a good call. The follow through. Yeah, you got the ball, but the follow through, you resulted in endangerment to the player. Look at that.
So a free kick to Cavalier. And they have some dead ball kickers who could hurt Mount Pleasant here. 16 minutes gone. This strike is just about 20 yards out. Or a bit more. Vargas, the Panamanian goalkeeper for Mount Pleasant, screaming at his four-man wall. Jeremy Nelson will strike for Cavalier. Nelson! Oh, straight into the wall. Nelson with the second effort. Vargas has to make a desperate dive to hit right.
What a good save. Man is down in the box for Mount Pleasant. Seems to be a head injury. This is the original effort. Oh, that's Kareem Manning lands.
Yeah.
Took it in the head, flush. And then the follow-up, very well executed. And it needed a strong right hand to palm it around the post. Well, I'm wondering if he got anything on it looking at the replay.
I'm not sure he did.
May have been fingertips.
Yeah. It hit the post, though.
No, and that's why he's saying, no, I didn't touch it.
Yeah.
Because the back angle that our director gave us, good shot, Eddie, didn't seem as if he made any contact with it.
I don't think it did, but it touched the post. So I think the deflection, because of how near his hand was to the post, may have given the impression that he touched it.
Handmade signs, everything to show support for this team. Again, I can't stress the point, St. Anne have been long suffering. As a lad, Lance, I listened to many call-in programs, people talking about St. Anne and lamenting the quality of football, the state of football in the parish. Some programs hosted by you, and here they are, St. Anne with their own team.
Yeah, during the 1980s and 90s, there was Black Stars representing St. Anne. The last St. Anne team in the Red Stripe Premier League would have been Benfica.
Yep.
Back in 2010, 2011, but they've really had a dearth of. There's the kick once again. You see, got off the shoulder of the defender and then into Manning's head. Pretty painful blow there. Kareem Manning has to leave the field. And the 25-year-old being helped off. So Mount Pleasant down to 10 men for the moment. Because it's a head injury, the medical staff of the Mount Pleasant team will have to ensure that it wasn't a serious knock. Hamilton's corner, threatening. Rankin with a header just over the top.
Should have done better with that, Leonard Rankin. Tall, got there first, under no pressure. And he may just have been caught a little bit underneath it. Yeah, maybe the distance couldn't really get it down beneath the crossbar from there. But at this level, you'd expect a player to be able to steer that goalwards, Lance.
Yeah.
If that were me now, I could excuse that finish.
Still young, ranking at 22 years old. Played for Sandals South Coast last year, a team that spent one season in the top flight and were immediately relegated. The last three teams, first-timers in the top flight. suffering the same fate themselves. Sandals, Jamalco and Barbican only spent 1 year in the top flight and were relegated immediately. Mount Pleasant is the team that's representing that status this year. First time ever in the Red Stripe Premier League.
Twice ranking giving away the ball, Lance. I've been saying to you that passing over medium to long distance is not his forte. He proved me right twice just now.
Benbow. Long ball sprayed right here by Ritchie. Campbell. Good skill on the ball, Campbell. Ball slid through there, the goalkeeper. Benbow! Over the top!
Good pressure from Purcell, Lance. Because were it not for Purcell's intervention, he would have had a free shot at goal. But look when it comes to him. Ball played over the top. Offside, Ricardo Dennis was, but the flag didn't go up. Then it comes to Benbow. First touch, it rides up on him. And Purcell on him in a flash. He had to get rid of the ball quickly. And that's why the shot was harmless in the end. There's Purcell in his line of sight, closing him down.
Yeah, good work there by Purcell. With a little bit more comfort, Benbow, I'm sure, would have done better. It's the pressure that Purcell put on him that caused that. 3 strikes on goal so far from Cavalier, 2 from Mount Pleasant. Game shaping up to be an entertaining fixture. Topey with the aggressive challenge. Knocked over, free kick to Cavalier, fairly high inside their own half.
Yeah, Dennis apologizes. Dennis felt he was the victim of a rough Purcell sliding tackle moments before, and giving the centre half some back. Mount Pleasant, to me, Lance, have not done well enough to snuff out the out-ball danger that Nicholas Hamilton poses on this left-hand side, just beneath or below our commentary point. And Cavalier keep coming to him time and time again.
Not much between these two teams in the possession game at the moment. Cavalier just marginally in front with 51%. But this has been a tight game so far. Manning. Fully recovered now from the blow to his head from that earlier free kick. Ming wanted the return play. James gets the clearance upfield, but there's a foul by Topey on the veteran Hodges.
Yeah, Ricardo Dennis, we noted, in for Kemar Beckford, but he's not justifying the start just yet, Lance.
Yeah.
He's been a passenger on this Mount Pleasant team over the first 22 plus minutes of this game.
Yeah, I guess Dookie is trying to solve his goal scoring problems, George. Pretty tame in offense so far this season, with just 10 goals, the worst of the top 8 teams in the league at the moment as far as scoring goals concerned. Mount Pleasant, even the bottom place team, Dunbeholden, bottom of the table, have scored more goals than Mount Pleasant has so far this season.
Yeah.
Wasted play by Mount Pleasant. They were in an advantageous looking position just now, but then Benbow, good pace. Still Benbow. Dennis with the effort from just outside the box. High.
Promising for him, just spoke about him, saying how quiet he was in the game. A nice dummy by Romario Campbell to let that run. There's Campbell going to it, calling for it from Benbow. Gets the call from Ricardo Dennis. And just helped that over Mark Bryan's goal. Grateful the goalkeeper was to see it fly high.
Yeah, there's Ricardo Dennis. Still a young man here at 21 years old. Had pretty solid seasons with Humberland before his transfer here to Mount Pleasant. Good, strong headed play there by Kevon Isaacs. Marshall. Ball robbed there from Jeremy Nelson.
Topey's down with an injury.
Topey, like referee Daniel Parchment, spent several recent weeks in Florida at the CONCACAF Under-20 Championship, where the Jamaicans played undefeated, but were eliminated on goal difference by Mexico.
Outside of your shot lands, Romario Campbell and Cardell Ben with an intense discussion which has ended now. Those two have been right from Mount Pleasant so far. Dennis just had his one moment. This is Topey and gets kicked by Hodges in the calf as Hodges sought to nip in to steal that one. But bits and pieces from Mount Pleasant in attack. Cavalier carries this threat through Nicholas Hamilton. Not seen much of Chevron Marsh. Have seen Alex Marshall in midfield, and of course Leonard Rankin has been doing well to screen for his central defenders. And Tope is not sufficient for Cavalier to be warming up number 4, Clifton Woodbine.
Yeah, Woodbine, another teenager in this Cavalier setup, 19-year-old former Stets player. I think he had a couple of outings for Reno in the Premier League before a switch here to Cavalier. Brand with a kick out for Cavalier. Approaching the half-hour mark, no goals yet. But then that's not uncommon for Mount Pleasant, who found goals scoring pretty hard to come by. Just 7 goals for Donovan Ducky's side from the 11 games that they've played so far. Cavalier have been a lot better with 15 goals. Isaacs. Benbow. Slides the ball through. Offside. Dennis is offside.
Just didn't time his run properly. That flicked pass around the corner was always on, and there he is, much too early, he's gone. And Kevon Isaacs, his pass was in vain.
Yeah, neat play there from Isaacs, the former Manchester High standout in the Costa Cup football. Two brothers in this Cavalier lineup, George, on the starting roster. Jeremy Nelson in 6 and his brother Nicholas Nelson in 19.
Yep.
Here's Vargas in goal for Mount Pleasant.
Don't know why, lads, but in my head, remember since, I've always thought that St. Anne had more dreadlocks and Rastafarians per capita than many other parishes. I just saw a shot of a crowd that our director gave us with some senior Rasta men enjoying the sacrament and having a drink while watching this football.
Well, Bob Marley was born here.
9 miles, yes.
Right, and Marcus Garvey, who,
yes,
who the Rastamen revere,
oh yes,
is also from St. Anne.
As they should revere him.
National hero Marcus Garvey. Here's Kamoy Simpson, long ball forward, looking for Hamilton. McCullough gets there first. Nelson. Bad pass back by Nelson. Dennis takes it, cuts inside, tumbles over from the challenge. Whoa, the referee allows the play to go on, and McCullough has to make offside. A frantic clearance, although there is an offside whistle.
But again, the first pass for Cavalier from midfield all the time. Over the top, look for Nicholas Hamilton to the left. This time his run was tracked by, oh, that's a bad call. That's a bad call because he was being played on by Liston James, comfortably so.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon, by Ricardo Dennis. Yeah, over on the left, the defensive Ricardo Dennis. Ricardo Campbell, beg your pardon.
Campbell, yeah.
Ricardo Campbell, yeah.
That was not offside.
Oh my goodness.
For sure, it was not offside.
Good work by our camera guys there to give us that angle, which made it absolutely clear.
Yeah. Horrible call there by the assistant referee. I think he appeared to be at least 2 meters onside.
Oh yes.
It wasn't even close.
Nope. And he got away with one because the line stepped up and he was sleeping. The defensive line left him alone, isolated, and that's why he was in a position to play Hamilton onside.
Campbell. Ritchie. Campbell gives the ball away. Rankin now has it. Oh, good skill there by Campbell. Campbell will strike this left-footed. No, he doesn't. Thought he would. Isaacs having some good touches on the ball here in midfield for Mount Pleasant so far in this game, in good combination with Romario Campbell.
Yeah, And I forgot to mention him as one of the bright sparks among present so far in this half.
Rankin under some pressure. Simpson with a clearance out. Benbow. Very quick on the feet, Benbow. Manning with a cross inside. Hodges, can he make something happen here? Oh, the deflection from Simpson almost through goalkeeper Branoff.
Wow.
Team effort from Hodges, didn't really connect well. And now Ducky isn't satisfied with the untidy play in the attacking third by his team.
I tell you what, the ball picked up speed when it was deflected by Simpson though. Not much on the shot, but then it took off.
Yeah, you could see the anxious reaction there from goalkeeper Brand. Mario Campbell making a good impact after the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, there was a time when he was arguably the best midfielder campaigning in the Premier League when he was wearing Waterhouse's colours.
Yeah, probably 5 seasons ago.
Yep.
Earned a national call-up based on those performances then. Rankin with the header out. Marsh, a bit of a clumsy play there by him. Nelson puts the chase on. It's Nicholas Nelson. A pair of goals so far this season for him. Hamilton.
Wow, what a deflection, because I think Marshall's shot was on target, Lance, with the left foot. But a sliding challenge may have been from the captain, Nadal Ritchie. Wrong footing the goalkeeper, but wide of the goal.
In the final 15 minutes here of the half, here's Marshall's effort.
It was actually Ricardo Campbell, rather. Yeah,
Campbell. There's a bit of a curve on it. May have been bending away from the goal, though. But a corner for Cavalier now with Hamilton. Vargas with a punch out. Dennis gets the ball away second time. Purcell. Nelson. Marshall. Delightful ball through. Just knock off the boot there of Nelson. Nicholas Nelson thought he had goal number 3 for the season. But what a challenge from the oncoming Mount Pleasant defender.
2 pairs of legs sliding to thwart that. 2 bodies on the line. Look at that. That's commitment. Kevon Isaacs.
Yeah.
And Ricardo Campbell.
Sorry. Really well done by Isaacs. Campbell also going in there to protect as well. And Nicholas Nelson holds his head in disbelief because he thought he was away clean.
Yeah, you say they've conceded what, 8 goals in 11 games so far? Mount Pleasant?
Seven goals in 11, yeah.
There you go. That's why they've only conceded 7 in 11. But he can't be happy, Lance, with the team going forward.
Looking pretty untidy. Just some glimpses of quality.
It's more individual talent than anything else.
Isaacs charging forward here. Whoa, Isaacs does really well. Campbell goes away. He doesn't play the ball to Campbell. And now loses the ball. What a disappointment for Isaacs. Did some really good work with a 40-yard dribble. Had Campbell all alone on the right and ignored him.
That's a classic case of playing the pass, of wanting to play a pass that's not there rather than playing the pass that you see. Campbell was the only man in a blue shirt who had broken with him. There was nobody to his left. He wanted to play the ball to his left. When he looked to his left, he only saw white shirts, and then he gave the ball away.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah, disappointing play there from Kevon Isaacs, who did really well from his defensive third to dribble the ball 40 to 50 yards upfield. Campbell with a corner kick for Mount Pleasant. Curling kick. Topey, 6 feet 4 inches. Uses his height well. Hodges. Manning arrives late.
Here they come.
Marsh on the transition game for Cavalier. The strongest part of their game. Still Marsh goes for the strike. Deflection. Marshall tries to keep the ball in and does. Hamilton. Oh, that was Marsh getting in the way.
Yeah. What a play. Devon Hodges wanted to play the perfect pass back to his midfielder to get across into the box. Look at this, and then Chevron Mars steals it. And he, as you noted, this is a strong part of Cavalier's game. Off to the races, the cavalry arriving, Mount Pleasant defenders flooding back. Shot blocked by Ricardo Campbell. And then Marshall recycles it to Hamilton, checks in on the right foot, goes for the shot, and the skipper blocks it.
Yeah, didn't really get a lot on the shot anyway, though. Thought he wanted to get a lot more on that. And Marsh trying to get out of the way, but not quickly enough.
Hodges with an elbow on Nelson.
So here now is Jeremy Nelson. Marshall. Nicholas Nelson back to Marshall. Nelson. Cavalier trying to toss their way into the 18-yard box. There goes Campbell, held back by Rankin.
Must be a card.
Knocks him over.
Must be a card.
And Parchment.
The crowd incensed that the card wasn't produced, and I am miffed.
Yeah.
He had about 3 bites at that foul. Tugged him, bumped him, and then pushed him over.
Just 7 yellow cards issued by Daniel Parchment so far this season. Had been away doing duties in the CONCACAF Under-20 Championship in Florida, so he's only done 4 Premier League games before this one tonight. Wow, gives McCullough a huge chase here over on the right. Purcell all alone, deep for Cavalier. Rankin has time and space. Owen gives the ball away. Isaacs also gives it away as well. Marsh. Hamilton, as usual, all alone on the left. Back to his captain, Nelson. Rankin exchanging passes now with Nelson. Topey. Cavalier with just 1 win in their last 5 matches, so their form is not as good as Coach Speed wants it to be. But then that only win in their last 5 games did come in their last encounter, and a good one too over top flight Tivoli. So maybe on encouragement from that latest result, Topey's long pass has, I think, a little bit too much weight on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they would have felt encouraged by their latest result, 2-0 over top flight Tivoli, the Cavalier team, even though it represented just 1 win in their last 5 outings. So for the start of the second round here, on match day 12, they'll be looking to follow up on that win over Tivoli.
Yeah, it's been inconsistent by virtue of the fact that their 4 wins were over 4 very good teams. And then they dropped points in places you didn't expect them to. Cavalier.
Started the season very well, Cavalier, with back-to-back victories over Reno and Arnett Gardens, and then followed that with losses to UWI and Portmore, and then their results just fluctuated after that.
The crowd seeing what we've been seeing, Lance. They've been the home crowd telling the Mount Pleasant supporters that the number 9 is too free, referring to Nicholas Hamilton in the white shirt of Cavalier. They're giving instruction to Simule Makala, as if he doesn't know what he's doing, and trust me, he does. The 9 is too free. That's him, Hamilton.
But you know, Ducky, the Mount Pleasant coach, always says he gives them something and then takes something away. Maybe with the field being so wide, they couldn't consider Hamilton not that much of a threat wide where he is until he comes in to the middle channel.
Or alternatively, because the field is so big and he's isolated on the left, he doesn't have the ability to connect with Marsh and Marshall, which is when he's most dangerous.
Yeah. And when he gets ready inside to connect with them, that is when the Mount Pleasant defenders will want to close him down.
Absolutely so.
I'm sure that's what Duki will say.
Yep.
Marshall. Nelson, back to goal. Rankin. Hamilton's first touch isn't good, but he was offside, I think.
But what a pass from Rankin, and eye of the needle stuff, and he acknowledges it, the forward does. Rankin, just look at him. And is that offside? Yes. Yes, it was. Yeah.
I think he was offside there.
But again, Lance Campbell, for me, not stepping up the line, the defensive line from Mount Pleasant, dozing a little bit, because he should have been a little bit more sprightly in advancing forward. That was a closer offside call than Mount Pleasant would have been comfortable with.
Both teams have been offside twice so far in this fixture. As we mentioned at the top of the show, George, even though the Mount Pleasant team are 4 places above Cavalier, they're being 4, and Cavalier 8. Cavalier have scored more goals than they have, and also have a better goal difference. So Cavalier are not that badly off the pace as their 8th place may suggest.
Yep.
Marsh does well. Still Marsh. Oh, he goes for a strike. I think he gets a deflection,
yes,
does he?
Does. Yeah, it was a surprise effort, snapshot.
Yeah.
Nobody expected him to shoot from there.
Does have a good left boot on him. Call him messy.
Yep. The thing about giving them something and taking something away, Hamilton, okay, with reason, can't beat him in isolation. But what Hamilton is doing, Lance, is preventing Sule McCullough from overlapping his right back, Donovan Duki's right back, and helping his attack. So McCullough has to stay at home to act as a minder for Nicholas Hamilton. And that is taking something away from Mount Pleasant in attack.
That's right. 4 minutes to the halftime break. Hamilton's corner kick is headed behind for another corner by McCullough. 15 goals so far for Cavalier this season.
Man down in the box, looks like Topey again. May have been an off-the-ball incident. I see Jamoi Simpson having words with a couple of the Mount Pleasant defenders. Yeah, Topey again.
Let's see what happened here.
What a punch in the stomach from the captain, Latiel Ritchie. And it's going down.
So Parchment has to handle some tempers now. Parchment trying to settle the tempers now. Ritchie and Topey being told by Parchment to take it easy.
We're waiting to get a precise number on the number of spectators inside the venue, Lance, but we hear, based on the tally so far, the organizers, the host rather, say it's a record crowd, but we get the precise number for you.
Yeah, so the unofficial story is that there's a record crowd at Drax Hall tonight. Whistle, pushing in the box, free kick to Mount Pleasant. So Cavalier pressing for a goal here on the road. They've only been outscored so far this season by Portmore, Arnett and Waterhouse. Only those 3 teams have scored more goals than Cavaliers. 15, Portmore with 21, Arnett 17 and Waterhouse 16. So they've been getting goals, maybe giving up a little more than Coach Doug Speed wants them. Conceding 10. Campbell with a good pass to Hodges. Hodges back to goal. Isaacs, oh, a collision of heads there. And the referee wants some medical attention for, I think this is Jamoi Simpson, is it?
No, it's Nelson. Or is it
Kyle Ming?
Yeah, the youngster from
Ming,
right back, yeah.
Ming has gone down. I think both players were genuinely going for the ball. Here's a play again.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, Ming and Isaacs. Yeah. And a collision of heads. Isaacs appears to be okay, but Ming took it on the forehead and looks to be shaken.
Out of your shot, the Cavalier coach and assistant having strong words with Nicholas Hamilton. He's having a laugh. Beside him to his left is a man who won several Premier League titles, Gerald Kuntini. That's Rudolph Speed, the Cavalier technical director. Just had a long conversation with Nicholas Hamilton. And yeah, Hamilton can't interpret what he's saying, lads.
Yeah.
Overseas, you see players cover their mouths in that situation. Hamilton knows he doesn't have to fret about the lip readers.
Yeah. So Ming still looks very unsteady. It was a pretty strong collision of heads there between Isaacs and Ming. Woodbine warming up for Cavalier, and Orlando Brown, the former JC player and Manning Cup winner. 2 minutes added on for stoppages, and maybe a little bit more because we are in the moment in a stoppage period. Massive crowd on hand here at Draxall.
Yeah, we're going to give the viewers a number soon, but we hear it's a record crowd.
Ball crossed inside here. Simpson gets the ball away. Ritchie. Campbell. McCalla. Manning and Marsh battle for the ball. Oh, Benbow does really well here. Wins a corner. Topey with a tackle.
Yeah, Ming has had some trouble with Benbow in this first half. Breezed by him, the Mount Pleasant winger just now.
Benbow play with a lot of pace. Good corner by Benbow. Hodges with a poor header on goal. I'm not sure he knew where the goal was.
I'm not sure how he could steer that one goalwards with that effort from the near post. Come on, Devon. Was trying to improvise.
Yeah, Devon, you just disappointed your biggest fan, George Davis.
Let's look at this. All right. Okay, wasn't such a bad effort, you know, lads?
It was a bad effort, George. You're seeing it from the wrong angle.
I'm trying to spare myself the embarrassment is what I'm trying to do.
34 years old now, Hodges. And Parchment has seen enough of the first half. 45 minutes gone. No goals yet between these two teams. A couple of offensive moments that looked promising on either side of the field, but nothing concrete. And the players a little let down by what has happened here in the first half.
Yes, indeed. Better from Cavalier. They're a bit more pleased with what they managed to do. I don't think Lucky will find anything positive to take from his team's performance over the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, so speed has come to St. Anne, looking for some success here against the fourth-placed Mount Pleasant, whose coach Donovan Ducky hasn't had much to smile about here in the first half. No goals. Mount Pleasant, Cavalier in this historic Red Stripe Premier League Mondays fixture, coming from the first time ever from Draxall in St. Anne. We'll be back with the first half highlights and the halftime features after this break.
One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing anthem. Red Stripe, watcha watcha watcha. Man shall I better forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal winner run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy now. Pop down we run him marathon boy. The Red Stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah yo. One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing anthem. Red Stripe, watcha watcha watcha. Man shall I better forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal winner run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy now. Pop down we run him marathon boy. The Red Stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah yo.
Ready now for the second half of this Red Stripe Football Mondays fixture. Mount Pleasant in blue at home against the white-clad Cavalier, the visiting team. No goals in the first half. A victory for Mount Pleasant tonight will take them second in the table, just one behind leaders Portmore. If Cavalier win, they'll move from 8th to 5th. At the moment, they're in a deadlock. These two teams drew 1-1 in the first round in early November. They're looking to break the deadlock tonight. Nicholas Nelson with the kickoff for Cavalier. Parchment, the man with a whistle. It's only his 5th Premier League game so far this season, having spent some time covering or officiating in the CONCACAF Under-20 Championship in Florida in the past 5 weeks. Cavalier on the ball. Marshall back to Purcell. Rankin. Purcell again, his first touch not too solid, forces him into a hasty pass upfield. McCalla steals the ball. Marshall. Ming goes inside, wants the ball back and gets it. Pass by Nelson Wayward, looking for his captain Marsh. Campbell. Dennis. Simpson under some pressure. Purcell gives the ball away. McCalla. Campbell. Benbow. Too much weight on the pass from Benbow.
Yeah, Manning was galloping. That was traveling like Kadula, and he was moving like... What was the horse we were riding the other day, Lance, at the track? Captain something or other.
Marshall goes wide to Purcell. McCalla challenging, puts pressure on Hamilton, forces him into an error. Kamar Bushy Beckford, the Waterhouse transfer. 12 goals for Waterhouse last season, propelling them into the playoffs and into the final, which they lost on penalties to Portmore. About to get some playing time.
Yeah, you spoke a lot about the impotence of the Mount Pleasant team in the first half, Lance. That must be a particular head scratcher for Dookie.
Yes.
Who planned to cure that in the summer by who he bought.
That's right. Oh, Manning goes for the strike. Brand takes no chances in goal, although that was going wide.
Yep. You have Devon Hodges in the team, and you buy Cardell Benbow and Kamara Beckford, two of the top forwards from last season in the RSPL. And then you still end up with goal problems. Then you're wondering if you're cursed.
Yeah. Campbell goes wide. Ming gets a touch onto the ball, but doesn't prevent Benbow from taking it. Benbow, multiple step overs from Benbow. Shot blocked from Isaacs. Benbow with a rebound, and Brand recovers in time to hold on to the ball, and Dookie's not pleased.
What a sequence. Cardell Benbow, like a human step over machine just now, and then Isaac's shot was true. Brand couldn't hold it. Wow. And then the follow-up. This is Benbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Then look at this shot. That was struck with tremendous power, and Brand sharp on the gather.
Yeah. Isaacs does strike the ball well. Benbow almost getting there, but Brand holding on well. Maybe Benbow could have been a little sharper on the rebound. That could be Dookie's complaint. Hodges looking for support. Slides the ball forward. Oh, Oh, he's given the ball by Jamoi Simpson, who fouls him now, and a free kick won by Mount Pleasant from an angle, but pretty deep in the Cavalier half.
Yeah, their home team coming out with an aggression in the second half, with which they didn't start the first half. And that's a foul.
So the Mount Pleasant fans getting excited. The Vuvuzela is beginning to go. And Jamoi Simpson, guilty of the foul there, scratches his head because he recognizes that this could spell some trouble for his team, although they've got numbers in the back, Cavalier. All 10 of their outfield players are in the box defending. Not for the first time. Oh, the ball squeezes through everyone.
Yeah. And again, Mount Pleasant left 3 back just in case the counter was on.
Pleasant, both Romario Campbell and Ricardo Dennis, who have had just, I would say, fleeting appearances in this match so far. Some moments of good touches, but not sustained.
No.
Both having just their 3rd matches so far, or 3 matches before now, for various reasons.
And you can see, especially where Romario Campbell is concerned, Lance, ring rust. The first yellow card is being produced. Looks as if the Cavalier midfielder Leonard Rankin gets it, yeah?
Grabs on to Richie there. He knows how dangerous Richie can be, and he takes one for the team. There goes onto the shirt there of Richie. Yeah, would have played against Richie last year when he was playing for Sandoz, and Richie was at Mobay, so he knows how dangerous this man can be. Mount Pleasant. Simpson gets the header first, but gives up a corner.
Yeah, good defensive clearance, because if he had missed that, then Sule Makala was right behind him, and Kemar Bushibek his ready, Lance, just 6 minutes into the second half.
That's right. 7 goals 2 seasons ago for Waterhouse, 12 goals last year, so 19 goals in the past 2 seasons for Waterhouse. A very, very quick and alert attacking player. And Donovan Ducky is hoping that he can solve his team's scoring problems tonight. Campbell, swirling corner kick here. Makala goes for the header. Ball lobbed to the far post. Hodges, Brand with a save.
Yeah, good save from Brand. And just like I thought, I was guessing who would Donovan Ducky withdraw to replace with Kemar Beckford, and no surprise, Ricardo Dennis, number 32. This is the corner kick from Romario Campbell. And the ball, that was Hodges' header. Didn't get much power on it though.
Yeah, the ball just hanging in the air, so difficult for Hodges to get much power on it. So Dennis exits the game, the former Glenmuir man, after 52 minutes, being replaced now by Kemar Bushy Beckford. Beckford, a 27-year-old former Excelsior player, now gets some playing time, and let's see what happens for him tonight. The fans appear to be embracing his entry into the game.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense you would sit in the stands, Lance, because you won't be able to see. So everybody's on their feet, expecting. This is a good change though. You can see the ring rust in Ricardo Dennis. You can see the Romario Campbell as well. And I've never seen Dennis substituted, Lance, and he wore the expression he just wore. He was very appreciative of the man replacing him, smiling. He always throws a strop. Well, he always threw a strop in his humble iron days when substituted. But things are different these days.
Yeah. Marshall trying to charge forward. Ming. Marshall. Knocked over by Beckford, so Beckford's first. duty in the game is to foul Marshall.
Yep.
Nelson with a free kick for Cavalier. Actually leaves it for Topey. Good strong kick into the box. Wow! Oh, the ball is in!
Nicholas Hamilton.
Did he get a touch?
Yes, he did.
Topey's long ball diagonally right into the box. Hamilton arrives there.
When they're congratulating Topey, Nuki's asking what's happened. Well, Donovan, your team has just conceded a goal. And let me see this again. This is Topey from inside his own half, floating over the top, and Hamilton gets nothing on it, Lance.
Oh, I'm not sure he touched it.
But his run attracted the goalkeeper's attention, and while the goalkeeper was watching him, the ball was making its way into the back of the net. That was a fluke goal.
And I think Ducky, especially because Mount Pleasant are usually so solid in defense, has every reason to be upset about what happened just then. It's almost as if the entire back line was flat-footed, and Topey's long pass, which is what it was, squeezed into the goal.
Oh yes, a change made by Cavalier, number 15 in to replace number 14. The other way around, Orlando Brown is in to replace number 15, Kyle Ming.
So Brown, an attacking flank player while at Jamaica College in their championship-winning Manning Cup team, is now on at right full-back for Cavalier. Hamilton with some step-overs under some pressure, being blocked by Ladale Ritchie. So Liston James getting in the way.
Yeah, and he goes down. Took that in the face, flush in the face.
His nose probably hurts now.
Yep. Well, you know what? I did say it was a fluke, and yes, it was. But in terms of design, that's exactly what Cavalier have been doing all evening. How many times have we said that when they win the ball in midfield or in central defense, they're not looking to string the passes through the midfield and get to the 18-yard box. It's always a long ball, and who's often the man they're looking to find with that outlet ball? Nicholas Hamilton. That pass was aimed in his direction. He made the run, so he did what he was supposed to do. This is Topey once again. Look at Hamilton's run. He got nothing on it. Make no mistake, that's another good shot from our camera team. Yeah, he was onside. There's no doubt about offside.
Yeah, he ran from behind the defenders, so...
Oh yeah, so he did his job. Topey did his job with the pass, and they got lucky because they did their job.
So Cavalier leading Mount Pleasant here by 1-0. I said Mount Pleasant have already lost 2 of their 5 home games, so they haven't been particularly strong here. Cavalier now will want to ensure they manage the game and protect the advantage they have earned. Approaching the hour mark. You know, in the first meeting back in November at Stadium East, Cavalier had scored early in the second half, almost the same time that they have scored now.
Yep.
Shot. Vargas with the stop.
Alex Marshall with the shot. Suddenly the life has gone out of the crowd, Lance.
Yeah.
Mount Pleasant did start the second half strongly.
Purcell. Pass a little bit short. Ladale Ritchie. Kala. Good interception there by Rankin. A couple of players down. Well, that's McCullough who's down now for Mount Pleasant. There's concern in the Mount Pleasant camp at the moment.
As he should. There's just no cohesion among his attacking players, and that's been a feature of the 58 minutes plus played so far. The combinations are just not there for Donovan Ducky tonight up front.
Yeah, well, and their November 4 meeting, they had to work hard to get the equalizer in the 83rd minute from Beckford after an early second half strike from Nicholas Nelson. Hodges, tame effort on goal. Brand in the Cavalier goal has no problems.
Yeah, his first touch, uncharacteristically for Devon Hodges in the box. Not sharp. Well, look, again, talking about the Cavalier goal, we'll say fortuitous. But I've said they did everything right, and then I've been saying all night that the defensive line for Mount Pleasant has not been moving in unison. Usually, Ricardo Campbell is the man who's lapsing. And perhaps if the line had moved in unison, Hamilton would have been caught offside.
So as they did in the early November fixture, Mount Pleasant now have the job of trying to get back after conceding a goal early in the second half. Marshall. Oh, delightful pass
Offside.
Offside there against.
He's telling the assistant no. Let's see if our guys have a great shot once again. Yes, they do, and he's onside. Oh my gosh, that's a terrible call. Look at the line, the edge of the 18-yard box. That's an awful call. Another one tonight, Lance, from the assistant referee.
So Hamilton was right. He was onside.
Excellent angle again, Mr. Edwards. You and your team are doing well tonight, sir. Keep it up.
Cavalier having more time on the ball at the moment. The latest possession stats showing 53% for them. Richie. No haste from the Cavalier goalkeeper.
They just need something more in midfield, Mount Pleasant. Need more oomph. Need more energy in that. It needs to be high octane. It's sputtering along like an automatic car that's in need of servicing. The Mount Pleasant midfield, Lance, going uphill. It's a struggle.
The midfield options they've got on the bench, pretty strong, but Evan Taylor, for instance, more of a holding midfielder, though he does have some good passes coming out of the back. Marsh challenges. Brown, the substitute. Nelson. Topey. Marsh's first touch is good. Marshall trying to squeeze the ball through. McCallum with a successful tackle. Manning. Benbow. Good pass forward, looking for Hodges. Whistle. Hodges fouls Simpson.
I often wonder why that's a foul. The defender clearly wants to anchor his body between the forward and the ball. He's not on the ball. The forward is trying to get him out of the way and get around him, and the referees always call that in favor of the defender. And Hodges with a nice turn of pace there, Lance. I thought he'd be embarrassed in that chase, but he wasn't.
Yeah, he was pretty much stride for stride there with Jamoi Simpson. So Speed's men are in front at the moment.
Yeah, Dookie now in conversation with two of his players, including Ronaldo Rodney, Lance. So it looks as if he's going to be asked to do a job here. Yeah, that's the conversation that's going on. Needs something in midfield. Needs much more than he's getting from Romario Campbell and company now, Dookie. He has to twist because he doesn't have the goal, so he can't stick. Rudolph Speed and Cavalier can stick because they're leading 1-0. Meaning stick with what you have.
So two attacking options apparently being pursued here. as Brown fouls Beckford with Daniel Green and Ronaldo Rodney, two men that appear set to get some playing time. There's a challenge by Brown, and Hodges is off. Daniel Green now on for Mount Pleasant.
A product of St. Anne, as can be told, by the rousing reception he just got upon his entrance.
Well, the last goal that Mount Pleasant scored was scored by Daniel Green in getting them the 1-0 victory over UWI. That was his first goal of the season. Now he has an opportunity to add to that as he comes on as a sub. Will he be a super sub? Beckford. Oh, slides the ball in. Benbow. Bad pass by Benbow. Green does well to keep the ball in. Had Manning as a passing option, but went down the goal line. Ball won here by Nelson. Oh, Nelson's attempted cross inside is pretty poor.
Yeah. Beckford was trying to win that free kick, trying to get his body between the defender and the ball. He looks worried, the owner of all this, Mount Pleasant Academy.
Yeah.
Lands the third and final change from Mount Pleasant coming up now. Ronaldo Rodney is below us, getting ready to enter.
So Ducky ringing the changes in, and Romario Campbell looks to be the man that will give way. Green slides the ball forward for Benbow. Back here to Green. Knocked off the ball. Campbell. Isaac's trying to go through, but a cluster of Cavalier defenders stop him. Now Marsh has it. Brown. Nelson goes long looking for his brother, Nicholas Nelson. Liston James gets in the way. Nelson again fights hard in midfield for the ball. Some urgency now from Mount Pleasant. You can see it in the body language. They don't want to lose in front of this record crowd, or what we've been told is a record crowd at Drax Hall. Hamilton. Good football from Cavalier. Whoa, frantic clearance there from Campbell. It's Manning, I think, getting in the way. And now Ritchie with a counter-attacking play for Mount Pleasant. Beckford beats his man well. Pass much too short there for Benbow. And Cavalier in transition. Too much weight on the pass, looking for Marshall.
You think so, Lance? I thought that was an excellent pass. But Alex Marshall, just not urgent enough. Clever from Chevron Marsh. Quick, neat, right through the space. Marshall didn't anticipate it properly.
Campbell, forward. Campbell. Benbow! Fine save from Brand.
Yeah, Bushy Beckford lands.
Oh, Beckford.
But straight at the goalkeeper, whose positioning was good.
Yeah.
But that was good from Mario Campbell. That's what you want him to be doing. You need him to be finding those nice passes to give his forward something to run onto and then shoot. Bushy couldn't find the corner he was looking for.
Kicks well with both feet, Beckford. Both left and right. And got a pretty strong left-footed strike onto that one. I think one of the best opportunities so far in this match from Mount Pleasant.
Yeah. That's exactly what you need from Mario Campbell, though. Operating just outside the 18-yard box, sliding those balls through. Makes no sense for your attacking midfielder to be passing balls sideways and backwards, Lance. That's not his job. That's a defensive midfielder's job.
Yeah. On his best day, he really is a quality attacking midfield player, because he's got goals in his boots as well.
Yeah, but I haven't seen his best days for some time now because of conditioning and injuries, Lance. We acknowledge that he's been a fine player as Claudius Blackburn comes in for one of the Nelson brothers, Nicholas.
Yeah.
There's Blackburn. Yeah, but Campbell his conditioning, his fitness must improve to do his talent justice. No doubt he has talent. As Ronaldo Rodney has been sent backlands to warm up. Maybe that pass from Mario Campbell saved him from the substitution move from Duki.
Yeah. As long as Campbell has the legs and the stamina to hold out, he can be an asset to this Mount Pleasant team for sure, and Rodney's entrance into the game could be delayed.
Yeah, a game changer, no doubt, Romario Campbell is, but he needs to lift his own performance. He needs to give 10-15% more.
So here's Blackburn in for Nelson. Blackburn back at Cavalier after spending some time at Harbourview and also Sandals SC last year. He was the leading scorer for Sandals in their debut in the top flight last year with 6 goals. There he is, Solius Blackburn, now 28 years old, younger brother of Marcelino Blackburn, who played for Arnett Gardens and more recently Harbourview. Game restarts. 20 minutes now remaining on the clock, and Cavalier in pole position for the victory.
I need to see some leadership. Oh, that's an indirect free kick. Yes, it is. It was a back pass, and Mark Brand picked it up under pressure, Lance. He had to do something, and he did the wrong thing.
Right, he should have kicked the ball away. Here's the play. Purcell gets the ball back to him. He can't touch the ball because it was his own player playing the ball back to him. Oh, just a lapse in concentration there for Mark Brand. And now Mount Pleasant will have a free kick pretty much on the 6-yard box.
Yeah, and they're leaving 3 men behind to defend as usual, Mount Pleasant, and they're being told by the bench that you don't need 3 to defend now because we're trailing. So up steps number 30 to join the attack, Kareem Manning.
Well, they're trying to cover as much of the goal as possible, Cavalier, but this is a fine scoring opportunity for Mount Pleasant, who are trying to reenact the November 4 game when they came from behind to earn a 1-1 draw, having trailed early in the second half. Campbell looks as if he wants to strike, may want to kick this into the roof of the net, although there's a 6'4" Jamoi Topey standing there menacingly on the goal line. Can Mount Pleasant draw level? Oh, the save! I think Brand got a touch to it, did he?
Brilliant save with the feet, Lance. That was excellent, right at the feet of Manning.
Daniel Green with a strike. And Brand took the responsibility. It was his error that caused the play anyway, and he was very brave there. Ladale Rich's right-footed strike skews wide.
Yep, the goalkeeper has made amends.
Well, I guess he took the position that, you know, I got the team in trouble, so let me get them out. And he did.
Thing from a Pleasant perspective, Lance, is that there's still time in this match. There's a lot of time left. 18 minutes plus. Those men. Yeah, you speak about the catbird seat. They're occupying it.
Just avoiding the $500 entry fee, which is not that much, George.
Nope.
How is that? 9 US?
Yeah, 12 8 96, 8 1 8. Yeah, 8 US plus 8 and change.
Richie. Campbell. Green, first touch, not good. Campbell puts the pressure on. Campbell. Orlando Brown gets his boot there, read the pass well. Daniel Green makes himself available for the pass.
The Rodney change is going to be made. He's going to come in, Ronaldo Rodney. And they've decided to bring out Ladale Richie. I think this is a good move.
Yeah.
Because Campbell seems to have lifted his game in the last few minutes from Romario Campbell. He was going to be the one substituted for Ronaldo Rodney. But instead, Ladale Richie comes out. they don't need him anymore at holding midfield because they're chasing a game.
Right. So a holding midfielder goes out and a more attacking midfielder, Ronaldo Rodney, now on, former Mobay United player. Rodney gets into the heat of things immediately.
Yep, one Mobay man for another, former Mobay man for another.
Kareem Manning, there's Ronaldo Rodney. Scored 4 goals for Mobay last year in the Premier League season. He would dearly love to open his account for Mount Pleasant tonight and lift them out of trouble. Rodney. Rankin. Isaacs. Oh, beautiful turn by Benbow. Daniel Green. Over the top with a left-footed strike.
What a chance. What a chance. What a build-up from Mount Pleasant. That was an excellent sequence, a brilliant turn from Benbow in midfield. Look at this, leaves this man for dead. Orlando Brown slips Daniel Green in. That looks as if it took a deflection from Kamoy Simpson's sliding challenge, but the referee says no corner. Wow.
Yeah, I think that was a deflection. A bit of an angle there for Daniel Green. Did get a good strike on the ball. Less than 15 minutes of normal time remaining. Cavalier champions only once in the local Premier League back in 1981. Spent some time out of the top flight as well. As recent as 5 or 6 years ago they were relegated and found their way back up, or less, I think 4 years. Orlando Brown, ball looks slippery.
Woodbine is getting ready to come in for Cavalier. Their last change.
Rodney takes the return play. Beckford. Green. Crashes into the rock like Kamoy Simpson. Purcell does well. Hamilton.
Hasn't been as prominent in the second half as he was in the first.
No.
But his one bright moment contributed to the goal.
Rodney. Manning. Rodney. Wow. No one there.
Yep. Should have knocked the ball back to Romario Campbell, who was giving him the passing option. Anyway, change being made by Cavalier now, number 4 coming in. Woodbine at the expense of Nicholas Hamilton, who's run his race.
Yeah. So Hamilton leaves Cavalier in pole position. Yes, that phrase has a bit of a ring about it. He's off. Cavalier, though, in front with 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, he's telling the bench, well, he's telling the 4th official who wants him to hurry up that he's tired. He can't walk any faster to leave the field.
And Clifton Becky Woodbine, former St. Elizabeth Tech player. 19 years old, had some playing time last year with Cavalier in the Premier League. On as a substitute now, some fresh legs on to try to tighten this game and manage this game to the end here for 3 points. Oh, Ball headed on goal there by Beckford. Arms raised, appealing for something. He thinks there could have been a handled ball somewhere. None of the officials taking him on. Marshall puts the chase on. Can't remember St. George's College winning boys athletic championships in recent decades.
Yeah, and he's no Test Falati.
Rankin. Marshall. Nelson goes for a strike from distance. Spectators all over the place.
Yeah, and they'll be disappointed by what they've seen from their team. Look, the crowd is such, and they're so happy that this team is here and doing so well that they'll just take a goal. They'll take 2 goals and not be too fussed about the performance. Leonard Rankin is down for Cavalier, but the referee isn't stopping the game.
Beckford. Green. Rodney tries to get Green back, but Marshall wins it.
Oh.
Now some attention for Rankin, who's down with what appears to be a leg injury. Initially, I thought it may have been cramps, but it's not looking like that at the moment. Standing room only here at Traxall.
Is there? Where would you stand? On the roof. Well, they've made their 3 changes, Cavalier, and if Rankin is in trouble, then they're going to have to make do with 10 9 outfield for the rest of this game. Let's hope he can continue. It doesn't look promising, though. Or maybe he's just buying some time to give his team a breather, Lance. One last effort to fill the lungs and then see out this game.
Yeah. Approaching 82 minutes now. And the pavilion.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be patronizing when I say they take 2 goals, especially him, the owner, and not be fussed about the performance. But you'll have to understand for how long St. Anne has been starved of top quality football, and for something like this, a project as exciting as this, Jamaica's first real football academy, they want this team to do well. They'll take anything.
Yeah. Scores of youngsters between the ages of 12 and 16 currently at the dorms at the Mount Pleasant Academy, going through not only tutoring in football but their academics as well.
Yep.
Kareem Keke Manning with a long throw from Mount Pleasant. Strike on goal by Benpo. Brand comes out. He's fouled, I think, by Green.
Yeah, kicked by Green.
Green appeals. He doesn't. Well, he claims innocence. And look at Brand. He just collapses onto the turf.
Just caught his knee.
Yeah.
He'll milk this. You know, Lance, we've been talking about records all evening. I would wager that this is the first time a St. Anne team in the Premier League, well, I'll not wager, I'm sure, this is the first time a St. Anne team in the Premier League is the subject of a live television broadcast on any day, Sunday or Monday or Wednesday or whatever. In the days of Black Stars, there certainly weren't any live televised Premier League games, for sure. And you were in your pomp in that time, not to say you aren't in your pomp now. Benfica, they didn't play live on TV in any RSPL game. So this is the first time St. Anne is witnessing this.
Yeah. I think you're right. Brian looks more hurt than we thought he was.
Come on, lads. it wasn't the full swing of the leg that Daniel Green caught him with, and it was only a part of the leg that isn't that tender. So yeah, he's just milking the clock.
Yeah, but the time will be added on. You know, sometimes I wonder about players making decisions like these because he's trying to run the clock, but the referee has stopped his watch, so the time will be added on.
Yeah, you say that though, Lance, but I think a large part of it is momentum killing. And from that perspective, it makes sense because, as you rightly say, there's no way you're going to run the clock. The time will be added on. It's just to kill momentum.
Yeah, and it was in the 83rd minute that Mount Pleasant got the equalizer against Cavalier in their first round meeting. Here's the goal. Topey looking for the long ball into the box, looking for Hamilton and Nelson. Neither of them getting to it, but it also beat the defenders and the goalkeeper. So this is the go-ahead goal for Cavalier, an advantage that they've held until now. And Topey, already the winner of numerous MVP awards on Red Stripe Premier League coverage. 3, we think, in the past. Is setting himself up for another honor.
Yep. For me, the brightest attacker has been Nicholas Hamilton, although he did fade in the second half, but Topey has been strong in defense, and his pass upfield turned into a goal, so why not?
Marshall roughed up by McCalla. Free kick to Cavalier. Time running out on the home team. Purcell. Rankin. Nelson under pressure. Rodney. Down by Nelson. Free kick to Mount Pleasant. They want to take it quickly. Benbow. Beckford has to go all the way over to the right. Smart play by Beckford. Purcell knocked over by McCalla. Free kick to Cavalier.
Yeah, the bad pass in that sequence was made by Benbow. That switch of play was unnecessary, and the ball wasn't good.
Marshall. Marsh. Nelson's first touch not as good as it needed to be. And Liston James wins it. Gives up a throw though deep.
It's a corner, Lance.
It's a corner.
Poor defending, man. Uncharacteristic of Mount Pleasant. The defending for the goal on replay was poor. Positioning, not functioning as a unitary defense line. Just caught out by Topey's quick thinking with that long pass, which Mount Pleasant couldn't deal with.
Marsh, short, takes the return play. Marshall wins a throw. So, the throw is for Mount Pleasant, it seems. Or is it? Cavalier's throw. Marshall. Marsh doesn't get the proper left-footed shot off.
Yeah, trying to curl it into the far right-hand corner. But Lance, so far a job well done by Cavalier.
Yeah. Rodney. Isaacs. Space now opening up here for Campbell. Campbell tumbles over from the Purcell challenge. Yeah, Campbell goes down from the Purcell challenge there. Free kick to Waterhouse. We're pretty much on to full time. We may have 3-4 minutes maybe added on for stoppages because of the injury halts that we had in the game. Let's see if Mount Pleasant can give their fans something to cheer about here late in the game. The blue shirts in the box waiting. Campbell, who kicks well from the dead ball, squirts the ball far too high and gives his players no chance. Peter Goal is despondent. 6 minutes we're told to be added on for stoppages. So a lifeline here for the Mount Pleasant team. There it is, 6 minutes. There were several stoppages, so can't say that the additional 6 minutes is surprising. Nelson. Marsh trying to squeeze the ball around Ricardo Campbell, who does well here. James. Green. Easily robbed of the ball by Simpson. Vargas, the Mount Pleasant goalkeeper, in a hurry to get the ball back into play. Campbell. McCullough. Isaacs. Wow. Benbow didn't want that ball. Or he didn't want it like that, I'm sure. So Mount Pleasant, up to this point in the game, disappointing their fans with a pretty untidy performance tonight. Cavalier, the traveling team, coming in here with a lot of commitment. Rodney looking for passing options, and he felt there should have been more offers for passes.
Yeah, and I agree with him.
Where's he's looking?
Yep, no support.
And Marshall puts enough pressure on to deny him any more forward move. Ricardo Campbell with the free kick for Mount Pleasant. This one will curve toward goal. Good kick it is. Rankin. Benbow with a heavy right-footed effort that doesn't breach the Cavalier defense. And now Marsh gets the ball away. Look at where Vargas is, the goalkeeper for Mount Pleasant.
Fans beginning to file out. Well, trickle out, to be fair. They think their team is beaten. Most of these, well, many of these fans.
Cavalier now getting as many players behind the ball as possible to ensure that they manage this game and protect the 1-0 advantage they've held since early in the second half. Bad pass by Marshall, but Nelson saves the day for him. Marshall can be dangerous in these spots, Marshall. Very tricky player. Out-muscled by McCullough, who has had a strong game at right back for Mount Pleasant tonight. Green. Isaacs. Green with a return play. Manning gets away from Brown. Manning's cross is poor.
Yep.
And behind.
Very good from Brown, though, to track back with him, making it difficult for the left back to get that cross in.
Yeah, had very little comfort. And it was because of the haste with the imminent challenge from Brown that I think contributed to the poor cross by him. So the home fans are not happy.
Nope.
One love, one aim, one destiny. That's the Mount Pleasant motto.
Well, they have the one love.
And some of the fans have given up. Less than 2 minutes now remaining. The 6 minutes added on for stoppages. 4:19 on the clock. 23-24. Got to use this ball quickly now, Mount Pleasant. Acres of room here opening up for Isaacs. Isaacs still. Cavalier defending in clusters. Rodney goes for the strike. And Purcell just throws his body in the way. Cavalier fully committed here and looking for the victory. Campbell goes wide. Simpson. Rankin, Beckford, across to the far post. Rodney tries to hook the ball inside. Brown gets it away. Only as far as to Campbell. Manning unable to squeeze the ball inside. Campbell. Purcell gets the ball away. He's been solid as well tonight for Cavalier.
Yes.
Oh, Manning didn't quite anticipate the ball properly.
Oh my goodness.
Topey
It's
frustrated by the effort from his team tonight.
It's over.
So the historic Mount Pleasant home game and a TV game about to end in despair for the home team.
Caught on his heels there, Kareem Manning. Our man of the match. Pumps this forward, Jamoi Topey.
Parchment has seen the end of it. And Topey's long-range 50-odd yard toss inside the box, beating everyone, is the difference between these two teams. And Rudolph Speed's Cavalier get 3 more points on the road. They've been pretty even on the road so far this season, coming into this fixture. 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses on their road trips. Now they have 3 wins in the 7 matches that they've played on the road so far. And with the victory tonight, Cavalier moving from 8th to 5 in the standings. And so displacing Waterhouse in that 5th spot. We'll be back with the match highlights and the post-match interviews after this break.
Mr. One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing anthem. Red stripe, watcha watcha watcha. Man shall I better forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal winner run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now. Back down we run him marathon boy. The Red stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah yeah.
So on a night when the fans turned out in really huge numbers to see their home team Mount Pleasant take on Cavalier in their first ever Monday night fixture at home, Mount Pleasant beaten here by a Cavalier team that were purposeful from the very outset. The free kick by Nelson into the wall, the rebound slides off the post. Referee giving a corner there which was headed over the top by Rankin. But Mount Pleasant under pressure early. A good moment here for them. Benbow with a right-footed strike over the top as Purcell puts the pressure on him. Here comes Ricardo Dennis with a right-footed strike that goes over the top. So Mount Pleasant had their moments. Marshall. Ball slid through there. And just at the last minute, the strong effort coming through there, denying Nelson the sliding challenges. And look at these step overs from Benbow. Strong effort by Kevon Isaacs. Blocked by Mark Brand. The rebound. Failing to find Benbow, who follows up here but just arrives late. And here's the goal. Long kick downfield. Misses everyone. Goalkeeper beaten. And Mount Pleasant go behind early in the second half from this 55th minute Topey strike. Hamilton trying to get out to the end of it, but he missed it. And the Mount Pleasant defense, strongest in the league so far, breached by an unbelievable turn of events. Beckford with a left-footed strike late in the game. Mark Brand down and collects well. Here, Brand, a loss of concentration, gives up a free kick here by touching the pass back from his own goalkeeper. Daniel Green, the substitute, crashes the ball powerfully right-footed, but goalkeeper Brand comes in and blocks the ball partially. It goes over the top. There are the match stats. Cavalier winning by 1-0. They had 10 strikes at goal, Cavalier, 7 of them on target. Mount Pleasant coming out stronger in the second half. In the end, 14 strikes at goal, only 5 on target, 19 fouls in the match, 10 of them to Mount Pleasant players. Just 1 yellow card issued by referee Daniel Parchment. 8 corners forced by Cavalier to Mount Pleasant's 5. And look at the possession game, 50-50. But the important stat at the top, Cavalier winning by 1-0 over Mount Pleasant, a result that lifts them from 8th to 5th in the table and above Waterhouse. With the man of the match, Jamoi Topey, is George Davis.
Thank you very much, Lance. So I'm here with our man of the match, Jamoi Topey, who has won a fair few of these so far in his young career. Jamoi, this one is yours. Congratulations. This is what, your 4th man of the match award?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the game.
Well, I must say it's a pretty much game. The team come out and play and follow the coach's instruction.
Tell me about the goal. It was from the dead ball. You moved quickly to put that ball over the top. Who are you looking for?
Well, I was looking for Hamilton making a run off the defender.
Yeah, for the first half especially, the out ball from the Cavalier defenders and midfielders was to go to Hamilton on the left. Was that the plan?
Yes, sir.
Mount Pleasant, big crowd on hand. You expected a big fight. Did you feel that the fixture was comfortable in the end, or is one of those victories that you felt you had to fight to get?
Yes, I feel like we'll fight pretty much well because coming and seeing so much supporters. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jamoi. All the best to you. Congratulations, and yeah, more of those to come.
All right, thanks.
That's Jamoi Topey, the man of the match for a Cavalier. He plays in central defense. Donovan, well, your thoughts on the game?
Well, I thought we started the game good. Our tactics was good. We knew that they wanted to play out of the back. We stopped that. They were getting caught in transition a lot. So we had the game, we're comfortable. We're pushing the game. We conceded the goal against the run of play. So, you know, I'm not that disheartened by the game. We have lost the 3 points, but we have to think about the lessons in the game. I thought Cavaliers, they defended well. Their transition was good in both phases. They made it difficult for us to penetrate them. They dropped deep. I thought we got 2 or 3 half chances we could have converted. Cardell Benbow in the second half, I thought when the keeper gave up the second ball, he should have converted the indirect kick. But it's a lot to learn. We have lost our first Monday night game here. The support was good. I'm still disappointed in terms of us not winning the game, but there's a lot of positive in the game that we can take home. Not take away nothing from Cavaliers. They did very well to come away under the psychological pressure. The pressure was very high, and these guys, they stood out, and I'm very pleased with what I saw today, and this is what football ought to be.
Final question, Donovan. Look, you lost 3 points. We heard it was a record crowd tonight. The Mount Pleasant faithful, your message to them is what? This is another defeat in a season that has had its ups and downs. What would you say to them wondering about the state of the project?
Which month is it?
This is December almost, November.
Well, no league is won in November. And what I'll say to the people that are looking on, the format of the competition, history would have shown that teams that have done poorly and slipped in the top 6 went on to win this competition. Having said that though, we want to maintain our form, good form, going into the top 6. That's our first objective. The fairy tale thoughts of us not losing at home, it's over. This is football. No team in the Premier League is being consistent. We need to improve on that. And once we improve on that, we will be more stable in competing in the top table.
Well, Donovan, better luck next time.
Thank you very much.
Good. Donovan Ducky there, gracious as ever, the coach of the Mount Pleasant Academy team. The winning coach, Rudolph Speed, steps into the shot. Rudolph, you said the ball was the 12th man, and after you scored, after 50 plus minutes, you controlled the ball and the crowd fell silent.
Oh, definitely. It's something that we realize once you take away, you add the ball a lot of time, the crowd will definitely either go silent or start to cheer for you, and we experienced that.
Overall, your thoughts on what your boys gave you? Break it down by halves for me, first half, second half.
Well, actually, I tried to play some mind games with Duki, but he's such a good coach. He actually high-pressed my team in the first half, so we're not able to get into our rhythm, except for a couple of times in the first half. But when we went in the second half, we had some issues with some players out of position. We spoke about it. And then the second half, we looked a little bit better, especially going down the hill. But Jamoi Topey, one of the best centre-half in the country, this player scores goal like he's a forward or a midfielder. This is his third Red Stripe Premier League goal, following the 4 he scored for Jamaica in the under-20. He has such unerring accuracy with his passes, and he keeps them in the frame, in the corner. So I've seen him score these goals a lot of time. He's just a brilliant young player.
But your record this season, though, Rudolph, shows that when the big teams come against Cavalier, you have the answer for them, you can beat them. But the teams lower down in the league, I don't know why you're struggling with them.
Well, the truth is, the better you play system-wise, it's better for me to be able to analyze what you are doing. And if you appear on TV a lot, that's easier too. But for this week, we did prepare immensely for them. And after we trained on Saturday morning, we just went, we camped, and the boys had a good time, and they were well rested for this encounter. So we had a plan knowing that we were going to come under immense pressure playing against Mount Pleasant here. So we just ramped up our preparations, and it played off in the end.
Hard work paid off. Congratulations, Rudolph. Another 3 points, and a good 3 points, especially on the road.
Oh, definitely. Thank you.
Good. Rudolph Speed, the man in charge of Cavalier, and they came away with the win in this game. So, yeah, that's the Mount Pleasant team forming a ring of solidarity. That's post-game. And, Lance, it's a communal loss. It's not as if all is over. See some academy players, academy boys in that circle as well, saying, yeah, better luck next time. The crowd came, everything was set, the table was set, Lance, for the home team to dine lustfully, but Cavalier had other ideas.
Yeah, you know, I have to consider the discussion I had with Donovan Ducky before the match started about the size of this field and the fact that even though it's a home ground for them, they haven't really mastered the conditions here. This is the third home loss that they've had in 6 matches here so far this season. So it does suggest to me that they're not particularly strong at home. Cavalier came here with no fear. You heard Rudolph Speed, the coach of the Cavalier team, suggesting that in the week leading up to this match, they ramped up their preparation because they knew that Mount Pleasant is a strong team and they had to come with a very attacking and enthusiastic attitude for the game, which they did. And to be quite honest, they deserve the victory.
Absolutely so. Mount Pleasant let down, I believe, by the lack of oomph over the 90 minutes from their engine room. More action to come on Sportsmax. We have the Manning Cup Final, Lance. Sportsmax 2 live Friday, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. ECT, Kingston College, St. George's College, and then the Rural Area Championship for the Manning Cup. Clarendon College well, I almost said at home. Clarendon College against Cornwall College. That's live Saturday, 5:30 p.m., 6:30 p.m. ECT. Sportsmax 2, the destination.
That's right. Also football coming from Europe. The La Liga coming up on Saturday, 2:45, 3:45 Eastern Caribbean time. Real Madrid, 5 defeats so far in the season already. Pretty unlike them. They'll be looking for a victory in their latest game. And then Barcelona, who lost the lead to Sevilla over the past weekend, they'll be at home to Villarreal.
Yep, Red Stripe Football Mondays next Monday from the concrete jungle. Arnett Garns, the home team. Mount Pleasant Academy, the visitors. Yeah, live Monday, 9 p.m. ECT. Sportsmax 2, Lance Whitaker.
Yes, so that's the story from Red Stripe Football Mondays. It's been an historic night tonight. The first time ever that a Red Stripe Premier League Football Championship match on a Monday night is coming from St. Anne. And Mount Pleasant making their debut at home on television, not getting the result that they wanted. Cavalier, though, with their victory moving from 8th
to 5th in the table, and they're now just 5 points, I think, off, or 6 points up the leaders, Portmore. So a good result for Cavalier, travelling all the way from Kingston to St. Anne to get a victory. Mount Pleasant will be on again next week, Monday night. They'll be at Arnett Gardens, and we'll be there as well. See you then.
Red Stripe, Premier League. I miss one bag of gold medal pan me now. Red Stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a pour them a singing anthem. Red Stripe, watch out. Band shall I be the forward boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal when I run from boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy now. Pop down we run the marathon boy. The bush and never made it that the champion boy pan. Now man I done a songsters boy. Red Stripe Premier League champion boy.